Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Gottschall, the Township Manager for Lower Paxton Township. Thank you for joining us tonight for this business meeting. Tonight, the board will, after public comment, hear a presentation by Ms. Polly Murphy from the Lower Paxton Community Foundation. Then jumping into old business, the board will consider approving an agreement with the Breakpoint Law firm, and this is an agreement that was brought to us last Tuesday by ProChamps to set up a collection system for the mortgage foreclosure registry. Then jumping down to new business, the board will consider a resolution amending Resolution 18-25, naming Mr. Bradley Gottschall as the township's right-to-know officer. Then the board will consider two change orders tonight, followed by consideration of a grant agreement regarding the Boyd Big Tree Spangler acquisition, regarding a grant provided by the Alexander Boyd and Jane Stark Boyd Charitable Foundation. Then the board, in summation, will consider two final subdivision plans, one for Amber Fields and one for Shadebrook, followed by Resolution 18-55, approving a planning module for Blue Ridge Village, and then followed by two improvement guarantees. The agenda being summarized, the board is at their chairs ready to conduct business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gottschall. I'll call this meeting of the Lower Paxton Township Board of Supervisors to order. If everyone would please stand, Mr. Zumas will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll now move to approval of minutes of the meeting of June 12th, 2018. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve the minutes of June the 12th, 2018 as prepared and circulated.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are going to move on to public comment, and public comment would be for items not on the agenda this evening. And before we move into public comment, I would like to announce that the Board of Supervisors did meet prior to this meeting to receive information from the Township Manager. With that, is there any public comment on an item not on the agenda this evening? Seeing none, Polly Murphy has some public comment for us on the Lower Paxton Community Foundation.
Good evening. I'm back after all that. Mr. Gutschall, welcome. It's nice to meet you. I'm here to tell you what we've been working on for the last 6 months. We still aren't there yet, but we've got a really, really good start. With the foundation, or with the Lower Paxton Historical Commission, we realized that there was no way for them to get money and get going. And there's a lot that the Historical Commission wants to get done. So we started a Lower Paxton Community Foundation. It is not associated with Lower Paxton Township, so we're going to be a 501c3. We already have our Pennsylvania Articles of Incorporation. We hope to, as I say, the beginning of it is for our Historical Commission, but we also are going to build it up to where we're going to help other things in the community, like Parks and Rec maybe. And also, like I say, we're still working on this. But I wanted to let you know what we're doing because we have some really cool things coming. Some of you may have heard it already. We plan to sell memberships to the Historical Commission. We're going to ask for grants, sponsors, donations, and my favorite thing, events, community events. The people on our committee, I think you know most of them, on our foundation board, I should say. One is Pam Jones. She's a trustee. She was my co-chair with the Lingelstown 250. And she's also co-chair now with NutriPACs of Central Dauphin School District. And she's working her head off with that. John Hanks, he is a trustee. He is Make It Happen events. So now we have me, Pam, John, and then there's Chris. We are the four that did the two big events. And we are really excited about this. Next, we have David Doyle. I think you all know David. He's on the Historical Commission, and he is also the Assistant Treasurer of the Foundation. We have Chris Davis. He's the Treasurer, Deputy Treasurer of the Dauphin County. And for our Secretary, we have Janice Creason. She's the elected Treasurer of Dauphin County. I'm the Assistant Chairman, and Ron Marsico is our Chairman. So, and Andy Enders is our attorney. So we've been meeting, we've been getting this together, and we're really excited. Some of the events we're talking about is history bus tours. We know where the stuff is from our history, and now we can sell tickets, get buses, get the community going. We want to get the community involved and have fun again. I miss that. We have a Facebook page, and of course it's called Lower Paxton Community Foundation. Please go and like it. We are doing Lower Paxton Chris Kindle Market. Now, I don't know if you know what that is, but they started in the 1400s over in Germany, and now they're all over the world. There are huge ones. We've been to the ones in Chicago and Naperville, and then there are smaller ones that actually really aren't small. That's in Mifflinburg. And so we are planning to do that for next year. Last night, here in one of your meetings rooms, we had a meeting, and through social media, we had quite a large group of people who have already signed up to help. And we're going to need a lot of people to pull this stuff off. But I'm not worried, because last time, everybody came together. At the Lingelstown tree lighting, we are going to have a taste of what a Chris Kindle Market is. We're going to have 2 setups, and we're going to have German sausage, pretzels. We're going to have gingerbread things we're selling. We're going to ask for donations to help us get started, okay? Next year, we'll have a larger one, and every year after that, we're going to grow. Also, next year, we are going to have the Lower Paxton Haunted House, and it's going to be cool. We need a lot of help. And I don't want to sound sexist, but we need some strong men for that one. So please spread the word on this. Also, for the littler kids, we want to do spooky stories to tell in the dark in the park. Now, that's all we have right now. So every year, we'll start smaller, and we're going to grow and grow. We're going to involve the community. I'm going to go back to the technical school, see if they can help us with some of this construction. So, anybody have any questions? Get your checkbooks out whenever you're ready. We'll take any oh, wait, the 501c3 isn't through yet. We're waiting to hear from that. After that, we'll be after you, so.
When did you apply for the 501c3 status?
Who's talking?
Me?
Oh, I could hear a voice been saying, it's his, still with the attorney. It will be in hopefully next week.
Okay.
And it takes a good year sometimes.
It should take,
what- yeah.
7 or 8 months anyhow.
And I've done it all now. I had no idea what that involved.
Well, you
28 pages of adding pages, and I don't want to do that again.
Change
so.
and delete.
Well, you have assembled an all-star cast. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt about that.
Yeah, we
So-
have. We have, and they've been wonderful.
And we know your past record of success with these type of things, so this is exciting.
It is
It is
exciting.
very exciting.
Who knows? Maybe someday we'll have a historical society building and all that fun stuff.
Well, that would be great.
Gary's working on that, aren't you, Gary?
I would love to help.
I know you would. Any other questions?
I don't
Yes,
have a
Helen.
question, Polly, but I'm pretty sure December 2nd, 6 o'clock, the tree lighting in Linglestown
Well, the
Square.
tree lighting's at 6, but we're going to be there from 5 to 7.
Okay, 5 to 7, okay.
Bring your German. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anything else?
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
No,
Also
I have a
scoop.
question, Polly. You can't
Uh-oh.
walk away yet. I know that you're planning at the Christmas tree lighting in Linglestown, the beginnings, or planting the seeds for the Christmas market next year. Are you able to get vendors that go, for example, in Mifflinburg? Because I know they have a huge,
They do, and it's
and people come from all over the country actually to
they've
Mifflinburg.
been there a long time. It's the second weekend of the month, or it's
Right.
the 13th this year.
Yes,
Oh,
I've been
yeah,
there. That's
well,
why.
Last night, we had people sign up. They're going to get on the phone, and we have paid people to call. Oh, we'll do it. We'll get
Good.
it.
I mean, that's excellent if we can get some of those vendors
Yeah.
because they're tremendous.
One lady came in last night and said, I just want to make sure you have Mr. Sticky there. I had no idea what she it was sticky buns. So, but we don't want food trucks. Everything's going to be set up in a Chris Kindle market. Go to one if you haven't been to one. It's worth it.
I've been to the one in
And it's
Bethlehem.
outside.
Yep.
Cold as can be. We went to the one in Chicago, right on Lake Michigan, in December. It's fun. It really
But that's
is.
what they do in Paris and Berlin, in Nuremberg, yeah,
We're wimps here, so.
in Vienna. I've been to those and they're cold.
So bear with us, we're just starting this, and we will grow, I promise you.
And you'll keep in touch with Leanne for our media, social
Oh,
media?
yes, definitely.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Thanght Polly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Polly. Appreciate
Have
that.
a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
You too.
Also,
Are we doing a plaque presentation? Is that still on
That's going to be the first meeting of October.
Okay.
the first meeting of October?
Of December.
oh,
Oh, okay. Well, I know you and Polly plan ahead, so October, the first meeting in December, we're going to do that.
Their meeting is tonight, so they couldn't come tonight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And now we have someplace to present the check to where it can go and.
Great, great. Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that next month then.
what was the December date again for Linglestown?
December the 2nd?
The 2nd? Yes.
Okay, do we have any other public comment? If not, we'll move to chairman and board member comments. Mr. Chrisman, I understand you have some comments for us?
I would just like to do a report. Last evening, I represented Lower Paxton Township at our Council of Government. And just to give you a quick overview of what occurred, for those of you who are unaware, the Council of Government is made up of 3 counties, and they are ready to expand. They're currently Cumberland, Dauphin, and York County, and now they've begun to reach out to members of the Lebanon community. So it's a very viable organization where we have an opportunity to exchange ideas, glean new things from them. Last evening, we talked about best practices for retirements and each of the retirement responsibilities of the various municipalities, reviewing best practices, and some of those I will certainly share with Mr. Cutshall so that he may either give us an approbation of that we're currently doing that, or perhaps some ideas we may want to consider for implementation within our own community. One of the interesting points, and I made special note of this, is that on December the 6th, and it's in a morning 8:30 to 10:30 in Upper Allen Township, there's going to be a roundtable of the 3+1 county on a subject that's near and dear to everyone's heart right now, as we're all dealing with stormwater management. And so they will be hosting a stormwater roundtable, and I'm hoping that we'll have an opportunity to be there because we're all in that same boat. From what I know and understand, Lower Paxton is ahead of everyone else. So I'm sure they're going to be looking to us for some guidance and direction because we've been doing it correctly. So with that said, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to share that the importance of this group and what it means to us, not only as leaders within those 4 counties, but also for the opportunity for us to share and also to gain new ideas or to reaffirm that what we're doing is the best practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for attending and for the report. Would either of the other supervisors care to make any comments?
I think there would be a footnote to that. I'm substituting for Mrs. Lindsay. She's normally our contact person, but I get to go a couple times a year, and maybe I may just ask her if I can tag along on the regular ones because they are very interesting.
I was going to thank you under board comments for filling in, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe Mr. Gottschall could talk a little bit about the 3 police officers that we have graduating December 6th, 5th?
5th. Was it the 5th? Thursday night, the 5th?
Yes, so the Director Koshiba has invited the board to attend the graduation ceremony of those 3 officers. They will be graduating from HAC's Municipal Police Officers Academy. I have to say I'm not very familiar with those officers and their backgrounds, but I'm sure I can certainly get a synopsis of those from the director.
Yep. Good. Very good, Brad. Thank you.
Yeah, I just had something. I wanted to thank the Public Works Department, the Sewer Department, the guys that helped plow the snow on Thursday. I think they did a great job, and they put in a long day Thursday night, and all day Friday. So thank you to Public Works and the Sewer. Appreciate it.
I did notice some social media comments that people had difficulty getting around until they got to Lower Paxton Township. So obviously our guys did a really good job because it was, as everybody knows, a very difficult day and a half there.
And I think the residents don't realize when they are plowing, some of those areas take 8 to 9 hours from start to finish. So, and you do get complaints and they say, I don't get plowed. Well, there has to be a starting point, there has to be an ending point. And sometimes, you're at the end of it. So if you could just be patient, when the roads are that bad, you're not going anywhere, and they will get you. You'll get to work the next day, but they will get you. But they did do they were out cindering early in the morning, and then did some plowing, so they did a great job.
Well, nobody went anywhere fast on
Yeah, you got
Thursday.
that right.
There's no doubt about that. Okay, anything else, Mrs. Lindsay?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Zumas, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, well, that concludes chairman and board member comments. Mr. Gottschall, do you have a manager's report?
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I do have 2 brief items to share with you this evening. The township's 2019 proposed budget has been advertised and made available for inspection at the front office as well as on our website. The board is scheduled to vote on that, to adopt that budget on December 18th. So mark your calendars for that. And then also under my report, I'd just like to report that my office, namely Ms. Smith here, is working with various liaisons to a number of the boards and commissions to ensure that we are filling vacancies and putting together a list for the board's consideration at your reorganizational meeting in January to act on vacancies on those boards and commissions. So we will have that list available to you ahead of that meeting.
Good. Yes, that would be helpful in case we have any unfilled slots. We can perhaps recruit some willing citizens to participate if we need folks. We'll see what's open. Okay. Well, anything else?
No, sir, that is it.
Okay, well then, leave your mic on, because we're going to go to old business, and at our workshop, we had a presentation on municipal legal services and the agreement, this involving properties that are in arrear on their mortgages. And we had an opportunity to hear all the details, so I understand we have before us a proposed agreement.
Yes, sir. We have that agreement, and both the solicitor and myself have taken a look at that agreement. All seems to check out, and as an item of note, the agreement does not include any fees that the township is subject to covering. The fees, well, actually, the payment levied to the law firm that will be handling this agreement will be picked up through the actual collections of those particular accounts.
Okay. So there's no upfront cost to the township to do this, and hopefully we will end up collecting more money. Do any members of the board have any questions about or comments?
We've had this discussion at workshop, Mr. Chairman.
Would any member of the public like to comment or ask questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve the municipal legal services agreement by and between Breakpoint Law LLC and Lower Paxton Township as presented by Mr. Gutschall.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Zumas. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we will move on to new business. As mentioned in the warm-up by Mr. Godshall, we have Resolution 1856, amending Resolution 1825, the right to know policy for municipal public records. Mr. Godshall, the reason we're doing that is...
Yes, sir. This resolution merely amends, as I mentioned, Resolution 1825, merely appointing Brad Gotchell, myself, as township manager to take the place of Mr. Wolf as the right to know officer.
Okay.
I just had a question for Mr. Gutschall. According to PSATs, you should have an assistant or an alternate, and I didn't know, was Shelley ever appointed as the alternate?
Leanne Urban actually is our alternate,
Okay,
and that is included in this resolution as well.
okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Good point. Any other questions?
I have a question for Mr. Gutschall. Are you willing to accept this responsibility?
Well, I don't know if I
I
should
don't think
answer
you
that,
have
but-
any choice.
It's in the job description. Well,
With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve Resolution 2018-56, which amends Resolution 2018-25, the right to know policy for municipal public records, referencing Mr. Gutschall by name.
so moved by Mr. Chrisman. Is there a second?
I have another question. I'm
Can
looking.
you do a second first, please?
Okay, I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded.
Okay.
Questions and comments?
Has Ms. Urban, has she been named? Because I'm looking at the resolution and I'm not seeing her name here as the alternate.
I recall us doing that at one point in the
It
past.
wouldn't be in this resolution, because
Would
this
be
is only,
separate.
Right.
this resolution only changes George to Brad.
Brad.
Right,
yeah.
Okay, how do we?
So, but you'd have to look at the resolution to see if her name was actually inserted in the.
1825.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I do recall that we
I don't
put her on
remember-
this.
I don't remember that.
I think
It was like way back in January or February. It was soon after she started.
Can we just check on, I mean, it's okay with this one, can we just check? I just want to make sure there's an alternate.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
We'll check, yep.
Just double check and make sure it's in the original
Yes.
resolution. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll call for the question on the motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nobody's opposed. Under new business, item B, we have a change order number 1 to the agreement with Ebersol Excavating, Inc. for drainage improvement projects in the Claremont neighborhood. Who will?
Jason, gonna do that?
Yeah, good evening, supervisors. To summarize the information that you have in front of you related to change order 1, It's comprised of three different elements. The first is related to the pipelining, that work that was completed in the Claremont neighborhood portion of the project. The first step in that process involves cleaning and dewatering of the pipes. When the contractor did that, they discovered that the bottom of these corrugated metal pipes had deteriorated to a point where they needed to come in and basically rebuild the bottoms of these pipes such that the lining process could continue. That was a significant amount of prep work that went above and beyond what could have been typically foreseen at the time of bidding. The second element of the change order is related to work in the Tofftree neighborhood. The plan called for the temporary removal and resetting of a timber landscaping wall that needed to be removed to accommodate the work. The face boards of the wall appeared to be in good condition. However, when the wall was deconstructed, it was found that the concealed pieces of the members and the members that were part of the foundation had decayed to a point where they were unsalvageable. So the contractor had to replace the wall in its entirety. So the change in contract price on the change orders related to those two items. The final element of the change order is related to a time extension request that the contractor had provided on account of the historic amounts of rainfall that we had during the construction season this year, coupled with delays encountered coordinating with utilities to move their private lines out of the way of the contractor's work.
So to
Jason,
sum that up, as a result of hidden damage, the price went up.
Thank you. I like that.
Essentially.
That was very succinct.
okay, that works. Jason, these pipe are they like under road pipes? They're not. Are they stormwater pipes? What?
Yes, they're drainage pipes, and the majority of them run through the yards in the neighborhood, which is why the pipelining procedure was the selected methodology in place of doing a full-scale replacement. These pipes are in close proximity to some people's homes, sheds, pools. The pipelining process is much less intrusive and wouldn't impact those sorts of features on the properties. All these pipes are located within easements that were already established prior to us undertaking the project.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
Trying
I
to
wanted to
figure out if
understand
they
why
were
we were
on-
able to do this when we're not able to do certain other things.
So that was
But they're
real
in.
clear.
They're already in an easement. Okay,
So that helps
Yes.
tremendously.
that was my. That's why I was asking.
So this was a stormwater project, had nothing to do with the sewer?
Yes, completely stormwater.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Does the board have any additional questions or need any additional information? Any public comment? Seeing none, Mr. Chrisman?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve change order number 1 to the agreement with Ebersol Excavating for the drainage improvement project in the Claremont development neighborhood in the amount of $44,141.75 as presented by Mr. Hines.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nobody's opposed. We will go then to item C under new business. We have a second change order. Jason, are you doing that one also?
Yes. This change order is related to the township's paving project from this past season. The project's complete. This is just the standard change order that comes at the completion of the project to reconcile the bid quantities with the actual field measured and verified quantities, all in preparation to close out the construction contract.
Along Jonestown Road.
Yes, there were several sections of Jonestown Road that were paved as part of the scope of the project. South Arlington if you've driven on that, that was paved as part of the project.
They did a good job there.
They did. They really did.
And
South
Franklin Street's wonderful. Oh my
Franklin
gosh.
Street,
Yeah.
Albany Road out off of Linglestown Road. We completed the paving in the Tuscan Villas development as part of the project.
Yes,
Overall, I think it was a success this season.
yes. Okay, any board questions or comments?
That's a lot of stone.
It's a lot of stone. Any public comment? Okay, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve change order number 2, which is the project closeout to the agreement with Pensy Supply Inc. for the 2018 paving project along Jonestown Road, Pine Street, South Franklin Street, and South Arlington, and Albany Road with an increase of in the amount of $19,037.57 cents, as presented and recommended by Mr. Hines.
So moved, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Very good. Thank you. Item D, approval of a grant agreement regarding the Boyd Big Tree Spangler acquisition. You have to pronounce that very slowly. By and between the Alexander Boyd and Jane Stark Boyd Charitable Foundation. We're getting we're having a grant to help with some property purchase, correct, Mr. Gottschall?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, this agreement simply establishes a $91,000 grant by the foundation to be utilized as a local match to a $229,000 DCNR grant for the purpose of acquisition of the Spangler Tract, allowing for a trail to be built connecting the Boyd Big Tree Conservation Area to Hocker Park.
And we've had several presentations on this, and we're extremely grateful to the Boyd Foundation for their grant that's making all this possible. And this was for some land up on the mountain north of Linglestown. So as a result of that grant agreement, the state grant is coming in, and we can move forward, and this does connect several tracts of land, including one of our parks. So we're very pleased with that, and we're very appreciative to the foundation. Any comments or questions?
Just a comment, Mr. Chairman. I think kudos also need to go to Paul Mahoney and his daughter Susan, who also helped facilitate this and bring it to closure. So I applaud their efforts.
Yes, they came here and met with us, and once they did, they made things happen.
Yes, they did, and we appreciate that.
Do we write them any type of a thank you letter from the township for participating in this?
Sure, we can do that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would,
yes, I think the letter obviously needs to be addressed to the Boyd Foundation
Right.
and to their executive director. But then I think it would be nice if we could, or they will do it automatically, is provide copy to Paul and to Susan, so that they would, I think it's important for us to also be thanking them for working behind the scenes.
Well, it's their foundation, so.
Yes,
they-
exactly.
They made it happen, and,
right.
yeah, this is a case of the private sector in our community stepping up, which we've seen happen on many occasions. When you ask people to step forward in Lower Paxton, they tend to do that, so.
And Mr. and Mrs. Boyd, of course, are both deceased. Mr. Mahoney was a professional and personal colleague of Mr. Boyd, and so I think that's why we've had the opportunity. Mr. Mahoney, of course, lives in our municipality, and so I think those are all things that bond him with our community. With that, if there are no other comments, Mr. Chairman, I'll be more than happy to move approval of the grant agreement regarding the Boyd Big Tree Spangler acquisition by and between the Alexander Boyd and Jane Stark Boyd Charitable Foundation and Lower Paxton Township as presented by Mr. Gutschall.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that now takes us to subdivision and land development. We have a couple of items here, starting with the final subdivision plan for Amber Fields Phase 7A. Mrs. Irby, good to see
Good
you.
evening. The final subdivision plan for Amber Fields Phase 7A consists of the extension of Camden Court and the construction of 13 single-family lots. The total area associated with the development is 5.52 acres. The site is located in the RC Residential Cluster Zoning District and will be served by public sewer and public water. No waivers have been requested for this plan, and the plan was approved by the Planning Commission at the November 14th, 2018 meeting. There are no technical comments for this plan. There are 6 administrative comments and 3 general comments. And Tim Malott is here from Malott Engineering to answer any plan questions.
Good evening, Tim Malott, Malott Engineering. Thank you for your time. Just a note, this is the second to last phase of Amber Fields. This is in the northwest corner. You can actually see shaded back the final phase, which will be 7B. You might remember an 8, but they kind of just got mixed up. Well, not mixed up, but they just sequenced them differently. So I just thought I'd point that out, that this is the northeast corner, and one phase to follow after that, and the project will be wrapped up. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Board members have any questions?
Just my standard.
I am in receipt.
You're ready, Mr. Lyon? First of all, let me applaud your efforts. There are no waivers being requested tonight. This happens rarely, so I applaud that you can make everything fit without any waivers. So I don't even have to address those. Mr. Malott, just for the record, are you able to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Good. There are 5 administrative comments, and I think you have those before you.
Yes.
All of those have been completed or will be completed in a timely fashion acceptable to township staff.
Yes.
And there are 5 general comments, specifically number 5, where there are 31 comments listed by Jason Hines from HRG. I need a commitment from you that all of those have been completed or will be completed in a timely fashion acceptable to township staff.
Yes.
Works for me, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the final subdivision plan for Amber Fields Phase 7A Plan 2018-32 with no waivers, 6 administrative comments, and 5 general comments, and specifically number 5 with the 31 comments listed in Mr. Hines from HRG's letter dated September the 25th, 2018.
The final subdivision plan has been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nobody opposed?
Thank you
There we
very
go.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Zerbe, we have another one.
We do. The final subdivision plan for Shadebrook Phase 3. The final subdivision plan for Shadebrook Phase 3 will consist of 16.03 acres to be developed in accordance with the plan. Phase 3 will consist of 80 residential lots and 3 open space lots. The residential lots will consist of 42 single-family detached dwellings, 26 duplexes, and 12 townhouses. The site is located in the R1 low-density residential district with a traditional neighborhood development overlay and will be served by public sewer and water. The plan was approved at the October 3rd, 2018 Planning Commission meeting. There is 1 waiver request for this plan, which is a request for a waiver of the requirement to provide a lighting plan associated with the Shadebrook Phase 3 subdivision plan. Staff supports this waiver. There are no technical comments for this plan, 3 administrative comments, and 5 general comments.
You should not. You should just
Slow
stay
again.
there.
Tim Malott representing the plan before you this evening. I'll just dive right into the waiver. You scared me there when you liked the last one with that one. But we did provide a lighting plan. The only relief we were asking for is not to have to get into the isometric. We did some unit changes, so we just removed lamp post. So we do have a full-fledged lighting plan that shows the details of the lamp post, the lamp, also street light style lamp posts with the globes. That'll be done along the private streets and everything. So we are providing a lighting plan. We were just looking for relief from having to deal with Yale to do the isometric plan, which just deals with the foot candle designations.
Will it have the same lights in front of like they do in 1 and 2? Because that's really nice up there.
Yes, yes. Every unit will have at least 1 lamp post, if not 2 on some of the corner lots, as well as the acorn style street lamps, which we're providing on cider pretz, which we really were never really proposing before. So it's a kind of an enhancement from that perspective.
Very good.
So Phase 2's all sold out?
Phase 2, how many units are left? It is just unbelievable.
That's amazing.
I really urge you to drive through Phase 1. Driving through Phase 2, you get a false sense of what the end product is. There are a lot of contractors, a lot of construction going on. You just don't get the feel. Phase 1 is pretty much built out. They have the wearing cores. And, I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, drive down there through at night. I mean, it is something. It really, really... Because we don't get to do these kind of dents. I was really kind of wondering what the tight, the homes with the porches right off the sidewalks. I mean, the appeal was just beautiful. It really is.
So the village part, I know the restaurant area will soon be opening, so the village on the other side, approximately when that would be started?
I'm not sure about that, John. Do you have any insight on
Yeah.
the Phase 1 commercial?
We're looking at anticipating something in the spring.
Okay, good. Okay,
Very good.
very nice.
Looking forward to having a new restaurant in the area. That'll be nice. Any other questions?
Sure. Mr. Milata, are you able to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, sir.
You would not have needed to justify the waiver request in as much as the comment is already on here that staff supports the waiver. So, but nonetheless, I appreciate your comment. There are 3 administrative comments. I need for you to indicate yes or no with regard to that all of the requirements under the administrative comments have been completed or will be completed in a timely fashion acceptable to staff.
Yes.
And there are 3 general comments, specifically number 3, with a memo dated November the 12th, 2018 from Jason Hines, HRG, for 8 administrative comments. And again, all general comments, including the number 3, have been completed or will be completed in a timely fashion acceptable to township staff.
Yes.
Good enough for me. Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve the final subdivision plan for Shade Brook Phase 3, Plan 2018-28, with 1 waiver request as stated, the 3 administrative comments as listed, and the 3 general comments, and specifically the memo from HRG dated November the 12th, 2018 from Jason Hines identifying 8 administrative resolutions.
It has been moved that we approve the final subdivision plan for Shade Brook Phase 3. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any additional questions or comments from the board? Any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank
You
you.
also.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
Same
you.
to you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the holiday, as should you all. So, we do now move to Resolution 1855, approving the planning module for Blue Ridge Village, and Mr. Weaver has been patiently awaiting his turn.
Yes, sir.
So what are we up to?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you've seen a few of these before. This is Resolution 1855. Specifically, this is for Triple Crown Corporation, the development of a parcel of land identified as Blue Ridge Village. This is normally done with the subdivision plan approval that was previously approved by the board. They had some delays in getting third-party signatures. They now have a complete planning module packet, so it's ready for the board's consideration. Typically, I don't provide the whole module package because it's very thick. I provide the project narrative, which I'll just briefly go over. We don't see developments this large. It is a mixed use of residential retirement, includes residential, assisted living, commercial retail, open space. I also have provided the sanitary sewer flows, 92,460 gallons per day at 250 gallons a day. That's 370 EDUs. And the developer has provided the flow estimates for each use and is broken out by apartments, single-family, townhouse, assisted living, restaurants, pharmacy, and retail. The planning module requires a checklist. The developer engineer has completed that, and it's ready for board action. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions?
I have just one question, Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
You've said it, but I want to make absolutely certain there are no dangling participles, i.e., everything is signed, sealed, delivered in your hands. It's not like everything's here but one thing, and I need that signature by tomorrow.
No, we have all the required signatures from all the third parties, and the application is complete.
Okay. all I need.
No dangling is permitted. So, so, any other questions that don't involve parts of grammar? I see no other questions. Any public comment? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve Resolution 1855?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve Resolution 2018-55, which is approving the planning module for Blue Ridge Village as presented by Mr. Weaver.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? The module is approved. And I understand that you are now in a new business.
Stormwater, you mean?
The stormwater business, yes.
We have an authority meeting a week from tonight.
A week from
Indeed,
tonight.
We do. Yes, we did. Steve got the official filing. He expedited it, and on Friday, it was official that the authority now has the power to operate a stormwater program.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not sure if that's the right word, but, well.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to you and to Mr. Stein and everybody involved for moving through a very complicated process in a very organized and timely manner. We know you've put a lot of work into it.
Thank
so
you, yes.
Congratulations.
Just a footnote, Mr. Chairman. I shared it with Brad and the board members. I don't know if you were here at the time, but COG, you know.
I did hear.
Council,
We
on
are
December
Randy.
the 6th, are you aware of the round table
I
for
think-
stormwater?
Yeah, Randy did alert me to that.
Okay,
I
as
know
long as the both
Randy
of you are
plans on
aware of it,
going,
I just
yeah.
wanted to, I wasn't sure when I said it whether you were here or not.
Oh, I
But
think
you
I
may
will
already have
attend
it on
that
your-
with Randy. Jason should go too.
Very
Okay.
good.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
we do have two improvement guarantees. Seem to be rather routine. Is there a motion on that?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move, we approve the 2 improvement guarantees, one for extension, one for reduction.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that takes us to payment of bills for Lower Paxton Township and the Lower Paxton Township Authority. Madam Treasurer?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we pay the bills for Lower Paxton Township and Lower Paxton Township Authority.
Is there a second?
In Mr. Judd's absence, I will second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we pay all the bills. All in favor signify by
Important.
saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any additional announcements from the board or from our staff? If not, I would wish everybody a very happy and blessed Thanksgiving holiday. Please travel safe, and we'll see everybody back here the first Tuesday in December.
Well, actually, we have Sewer Authority next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock in this room.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Board of Supervisors will be back the first Tuesday in December. People are welcome to come at any other time that they like, but we'll be back then. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.